Doc Loves the Kids, a local Kitsap County nonprofit organization established in 2015, whose mission is to provide activities, programs, and community support for at-risk youth.
They put the U in community.
Doc Loves the Kids.
Welcome to Uncommon Courtesy,
where we give you the courtesy of conversation
that's uncommonly spoke of.
I'm D-Mac.
I'm Wesley.
And it's the show. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to catch us every Friday, 7 p.m. on the Friday Fix. And also every week here at the new show, Civil Discourse, with Wes and Steve. You can check that one out throughout the week. Usually it airs on Sundays.
Absolutely, absolutely. So how the hell has your day been, man?
It's been all right, man. I just, I like to wake up in the morning, drink some orange juice, and read about the chaos.
I mean, it never ends. It's a never ending kind of a cycle of learning about what the hell's new is going on in this country or around the world, man. And
I'm truly entertained that, the Trump White House is posting things just for content. I mean, he had a picture of him as the Pope. One is a Sith Lord.
Yeah. I mean, and it seems like we're a joke right now. Everything's a joke. Everything's like, oh, they're trolling. Is that what we want our White House to be doing, is trolling?
Yes.
Is it, we want, like, it just seems like we want the dumbest imaginable to be leading us, because you can relate to that. It tells me a lot about you when you can relate to the dumbest imaginable.
I like my presidents where I don't have to see them unless they come out and give a speech. I shouldn't have to see them every day, but this is where we're at, ladies and gentlemen.
And with that, the U.S. reaches agreement to settle lawsuit brought over Ashley Babbitt's shooting during Capitol riot. The Trump administration has reached a preliminary agreement to settle a wrongful death lawsuit brought by the family of Ashley Babbitt over her shooting by an officer during the U.S. Capitol riot, attorneys said on Friday. Lawyers for Babbitt's estate and the Justice Department told a judge in Washington's federal court that they have reached a settlement in principle, but the details are still being worked out, and the final agreement has not yet been signed. The terms of the settlement have not been disclosed. Babbitt's estate filed a $30 million lawsuit last year over her fatal shooting when she was attempted to climb through the broken window of a barricade door leading to the speaker's lobby inside the Capitol on January 6, 2021. The Capitol police officers who shot her was cleared of wrongdoing by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia, which concluded that he acted in self-defense and defense of members of Congress. The Capitol Police also cleared the officer. Babbitt, a 35-year-old Air Force veteran from San Diego, was unarmed when she was shot by the police lieutenant when she tried to climb through the door as others in the mob pressed to get into the lobby outside the House chamber. The lawsuit alleges that the officer, who was not in uniform, failed to de-escalate the situation and did not give her any warnings or commands before opening fire. It also alleges negligence on the part of Capitol Police. The lawsuit says the department should have known that the officer was prone to behave in a dangerous or otherwise incompetent manner. Ashley posed no threat to the safety of anyone, the lawsuit said. The Capitol Police officer said in a televised interview that he fired as a last resort. When he pulled the trigger, he said he had no idea whether the person jumping through the window was armed. And so
from watching it the day of it happened, there was a mob that infiltrated this area of DC. They stormed the building, beat up police officers. There were a mob at the door. They broke the window, and she was the only one that could fit through the broken window, and she jumped through. She wasn't going to get through the window and just start finger pointing. They came for violence.
They beat cops the entire time, man. They were beating them. I mean, to say that you need to, like,
gallows up, bro. They were about to hang people.
To say that you need, like, I need to. She was posed no threat. I've watched them beat people all the way to get into where I'm at right now. I have the U.S. senators, U.S. House members behind me. This is their lives at risk. I'm the last line of defense. These people have made it all the way through every barricade. They've crushed through barricades, beat cops, bear maced them, closed their helmets on their heads. You know what I mean? Crushing them in doorways. I heard them screaming. There's video footage of all this. We've all seen it.
We watched it. We watched it. We're not even going to play Super. We watched it in real time.
Let me say this at the same time too. There's people who are like, oh, they just let them walk in. They're escorting them in. If I just saw you beat 40 other people outside here with just reckless abandon, you ain't care about beating them. Am I about to sit here and take a beating too? Probably not. Probably not. So, and the ones who probably let them in, you never know. Go look at their political allegiance.
No, remember
and I'll tell you a lot there
the
too.
The ones that let them in, they majority of them committed suicide a couple days later.
Yeah, I mean,
they thought they were going to be cooked. Remember, people were stealing things out of there. My whole thing is like this. Look, it was a violent mob. They came in there. They stormed the building. They broke the glass. You can watch the video of how she got killed. Watch the video. They're breaking.
He had the gun pointed at her for a substantial.
He said stop. He said
amount of time.
They were trying to break down the door. They couldn't get through the door. We all watched it. They couldn't get through the door. They broke the glass, and she was the only person that could fit through it, and she was jumping through the glass to get at them. Yep. It was a mob. So, but anyways, like I'm saying, the people that orchestrated January 6th are the people that run the country now. So, Of course, they're going to pay their people out. They let them out of jail.
They let them out. Pardoned them all. Let them out. Now they're going to make sure she gets probably, who knows, $30 million for the simple fact of her. This was not a riot. You tried to overthrow the government on a. This was the transfer of power. The day of the peaceful transfer of power. You went down here to try and stop the peaceful transition of power in our country. That's not a small thing that you were doing. I mean, and at the same time, you've already assaulted people on your way to getting here. You're at the final door. It's your fault if you don't stop. You should know somebody's going to kill something. And I mean, be honest with you, if it's me, and if I tell you the truth about how I feel, it should have probably ended worse than what it did for everybody. That's just the truth. Maybe they wouldn't do that type of stuff again. But hey, we're here now. So, I mean,
they wouldn't do it because, the people that were storming the building were also European Americans, just like the people that were in power were European Americans. So they felt a little,
sympathy, remorse. Oh, they look like me.
Felt bad for them.
They were beaten. I remember they beat the cops so bad one time. They basically said,
dude, sorry.
Jesus. They basically said, hey, here's your dude right here, man. Here, pick your mans up right here. They threw him in front of everybody. It was they were like a corpse, a cop. You know what I mean? So it's just ridiculous, man, that this is really going. This is what's happened. They're about to pay these people a bunch of money, basically paying her off because he felt bad because he got her. I mean,
remember the whole time he was like, yo, because he realized it was a black Secret Service officer that shot her. So he was like, release his name, let him out. But this is what it is. Look, and they're going to rewrite history to make her seem like she's a hero.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, the privilege is what saved them. And the privilege is the reason that they're in power right now. Because if it was anybody else, it would have been locked up. They would have made stories about it. They were talking, oh, this is the second anniversary of January 6th. So it is what it is, man. I can't complain about it, but crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
Crazy. Just crazy. Speaking of crazy, Trump aides are hoarding supplies of toilet paper, food, and cash as tariff insiders fear chaos. As President Donald Trump has given no signal in recent weeks that he would be backing off his ongoing trade war with China, some officials within his administration are reportedly stocking up on essential items, according to news reporting from Rolling Stone. Several Trump administration officials told the magazine they were stocking up on items such as toilet paper, some type of shelf-stable food, and other household items. They added that there were several others of their colleagues doing the same. While many economists, experts say Trump's tariff will undoubtedly lead to a higher price of potentially empty store shelves, they caution Americans against panic buying of this nature as it could backfire and lead to even greater shortages of everyday items. When asked why they were doing the stockpiling, administration officials who spoke to on conditions of anonymity and added they were also stashing cash in their DC area homes. They said, because it would be stupid not to. The aide added that despite the stockpiling, they still believe in Trump's tariffs policy on the whole, citing a supposed advantage of short-term pain in exchange for long-term prosperity.
Let me ask you this real quick. Where did you get this? Where'd you get the article from?
Now, this article came from the Irish Star.
All right. I mean, I guess it's a reputable source right there. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? But the point of it, the reason I asked is because I know these people right here, whoever this is speaking on the conditions of anonymity, you must be, I mean, if you're telling the truth about what's really going on with you, man, it speaks volumes about how they truly feel about this campaign. They understand that this is a failing campaign, no matter what. If I'm stockpiling toilet paper and all necessities, when you know who else said the same thing? Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban said, if I'm people, right? He said this a couple months ago. I would go get all of my basic necessities and pile up and get a good amount of them set up for the future because the prices of them are going to go up. Everyone know so this is not a.
Well, no, the price is going to go up and everything's going to come in short. So as I was telling people on the show before, go get you canned food, get you some ammo, Get you some stuff. Your short-term pain, I'm telling you, by the time the summer hits, it's going to get ugly in here.
I keep hearing people they saying the same thing over and over. Oh, you guys we just need the tariffs. So it's a bargaining chip. It's this, it's that. It's kind of crazy, man. When I'm sitting here listening to couch economist, you know what I mean? You're getting all your tariff information from Trump, who doesn't know what the hell he's doing. None of his economists are any good. Everyone knows. I mean, this has been the same thing over and over again. This is why he keeps on saying now he wants to put 100% tariffs on movies that are made from not made outside the U.S. It's just everything's a tariff. Tariff on this, tariff. You're really just tearing down America.
It's a tax. That's all it is. And think about it, we have to pay the tax.
Yeah.
So it's a tax on us. But think about it, during COVID, there wasn't even a short supply of toilet paper. Someone just said, hey, toilet paper's running low. And people panicked and went out there and bought all the toilet paper. Now imagine someone's like, hey, all the SpaghettiOs are off the shelf. You know what I'm saying? This isn't coming in no more. People are going to panic. They're going to start breaking into homes. They're going to be stealing stuff. It's going to be mass chaos.
Yeah, I mean, we're already at a point right now where people don't really see what's coming. They don't see that a lot of the ships that we've already been talking about, these ships that are coming in are already starting to come in half full. You know what I mean? And the last ships without tariffs on them have already come in now. It's done. This is over with. So everything coming in from here on out, you're going to see a big tax on it. When you go online and order your Shein, when you go online and order your
Temu, your Amazon,
any of that stuff, you're getting taxed right now. I mean, this is a tax from the Trump administration. This is what this is from. This isn't to bring back a bunch of manufacturing jobs or anything like that. This is just a simple fact of matter. He feels like he can get something out of these deals, and this is what he's doing.
And the manufacturer jobs aren't coming back for you to work them anyways. It's going to be robots. And
we've talked about it, man.
Yes, exactly. But I mean, I told people on the last time we talked about this, you better go get your stuff now. You're going to go to the store. I'm telling you what the stores are doing. They're just moving other items they have around to make it look like items aren't missing. But go to your store. They're missing. Certain things I buy the same stuff from, the stores I go to. And I'm looking, I'm like, yo, where's my products at? They're not here. Mm-hmm. And they take other stuff and put it in the place so the shelves don't look empty. But it's here.
It's about to get empty. They're about to get really empty. When you look at it like the perspective, they said 35% less shipments are coming in from here on out. 35% less starting this week. What do you think is going to happen? 35% less? That's huge. So that's over a third. You know what I mean? So let's see how this turns out for us. Trump to sign executive order forcing truck drivers to speak English.
See.
Donald Trump will sign an executive order requiring truck drivers to speak English. The memorandum, which is expected to be signed in the Oval Office on Monday evening, will require those driving a commercial vehicle to be qualified and proficient English speakers. President Trump believes that English is a non-negotiable safety requirement for professional drivers, as they should be able to read and understand traffic signs. A document seen by Breitbart reads. Sean Duffy, the transportation secretary, will be directed to rescind and replace guidance to strengthen inspection procedures for compliance with English proficiency requirements. It adds, the order reverses an Obama-era memorandum that removed the requirement to place drivers out of service for violating English proficient standards. It comes after Trump signed an executive order designating English as the official language of the United States. The order allows government agencies and organizations that receive federal funding to choose whether to continue to offer documents and services in languages other than English. For decades, lawmakers in Congress have introduced legislation to designate English as the official language, but have failed. Elsewhere, Caroline Leavitt held White House first influencer press briefing dedicated solely to members of what it calls the new media. Speaking to executive order, she said, this is a big problem in the trucking community that unless you're in that community, you might not know about.
I mean, I'm just recently traveling out the country. You know what I'm saying? Nobody accommodated me when I spoke English unless the people were trying to get money out of my pocket. They knew the right kind of words to be like, hey, Rolex, sunglasses. So it makes sense. You're in America. I mean, it is what it is. The conquering force came here. Everybody should speak English.
I don't think I think it'll help you to speak English. I think that, we're not, that's a much smaller country. I think they have like maybe 30 million people over where we were at, maybe 40 or something like that. I don't know. Maybe even if say it's 80 million.
40 million is not tiny.
It ain't big like that though. It's not like 340.
But I'm saying like here you got signs in English and in Spanish. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to
They
accommodate.
barely even have signs in their language there, brother. We saw there's no street signs hardly. You know what I'm saying? Let's just
They
be
don't need
real
street
around
signs.
here.
No, they don't.
You know what I mean? It's
Only
like
thing they have,
something.
it says stop, go.
You know, I mean, yeah, that's all I'm saying to you. Like, you know, they still do. This is just to speak to where we were. They still do like circus tricks at stoplights. This guy, I watched him twirl all the way up to a stoplight thing and fall down within like 4 inches of his head hitting the concrete and cracking open in front of everybody. We would never allow that here. So we have to understand there are standards between being us and being other countries. You can say, oh, I'm just
saying other countries aren't, you know, bending over backwards to make things in English to make us comfortable. You know what I'm saying? This is the language they speak in this country. And either you learn to speak the language or you walk around and you have to do hand signals. You know what I'm saying? This is America, bro.
I mean, I guarantee if you go to school,
Spanish is optional to learn. But this is America. You speak English. Everyone needs to speak English. It's the native language. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be doing business in here if you don't. Remember, I told you, there's people that have been living here for 30, 40 years. They never decided to learn English.
Like I say, I mean, whether they learn it, whether they know it really good or whether or not, this is how I look at life. We are a very much a developed country. I'm not saying the truck drivers should be able to drive around without being able to speak English or know how to read any signs or anything like that. Obviously, there needs to be some kind of like, you know, there's the standard there. But to say that, everyone in this country needs to speak English, I don't believe that. I don't think that should even be a requirement. I think if this person doesn't speak English and if you don't work, you don't eat. You know what I mean? That's not from that perspective. But if we're basing this off of what other countries do, other countries are much poorer than the United States. If we take China off the board, we probably have if we take China off the board, we probably have a higher GDP than the next 10 countries combined. Damn near.
America's a poor
real
country
deal.
Too. Don't let that.
No, we're not poor. No, we're not. We're not even close to being poor. Not at all. Not at all. We can spend $1 trillion. We spend $1 trillion a year on our military.
That's the military.
Over $1 trillion.
That's the military.
Over on just the military. Let's go to healthcare. We go to everything else.
Failing education system. Our streets, our roads.
Failing. I will not say we're a failing education system. We can't say that.
Our bridges are crumbling.
You act like how many crumbling bridges did you drive over today?
I ain't crossed the bridge yet.
How many streets have you driven over that's crumbling in front around you?
2
today.
2.
You just made that up, bro. You ain't driving over no crumbling streets today at all.
We're not a poor nation. If we're not a poor nation, then why are we having to pay for healthcare?
Because we don't vote for it. We haven't voted to not pay for health care. That's
because we're poor.
You know what I'm saying? No, it's not because people sit here and act like.
Hey, America is a 1994 Ford Taurus on 20-inch rims.
With stealth bombers and all kinds of other stuff. We paying people hundreds of billions of dollars to go fight wars everywhere else. Hey, we're paying for all kinds of stuff. We're not a poor country.
Hey, America spends top dollars on murder.
Hey, I'm gonna say this. We have the largest stock market in the entire world. Everyone puts their money into America by far. What does the
stock market got to do with me having to pay $7 for a loaf of bread? We're a poor nation.
Would you pay $7? Ain't it crazy that you had the money to pay $7 for a loaf of bread? Other people ain't got that kind of money for a loaf of bread, do they? No, they don't. That tells you a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? We look at the minimum wage in our state. What is it? Almost $20 an hour right now.
That's our state.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like let's just be real. It's high as hell too.
Hey, check it out. Okay, check it out. Minimum wage is $21 an hour for a single American adult to live comfortably and actually to be able to afford their rent. They need to make $35 an hour. Do the math, bro. Poor nation.
That's one person. I'm not going to say one person needs to make $35. That's probably like for 2 people or something like that within a household.
One person.
$35 an hour.
$35 an hour.
Comfortable. I don't know. I can't say whether or not. All I'm saying is this right here. Let's give it back. We're not a poor nation by far. If we're poor, everybody's poor. Everybody's poor.
Everybody's poor.
You know what I'm saying? Everyone's.
Hey, but some countries make it more comfortable to be poor. That's the difference.
Man, I'm all for it. I'm all for free education, free healthcare. You know what I'm saying? But
we're a poor nation. Anyways, Donald Trump's latest executive order directs the end of federal funding for NPR and PBS. Donald Trump signed an executive order seeking to halt federal funding for NPR and PBS, deeming it taxpayer subsidized of biased media. The order directed the Corporation for Public Broadcasting to cease direct funding to the media outlet. But earlier this week, the CPB sued Trump in court after he sought to remove 3 of its 5 board members, including Sony's Tom Rothman. A federal judge has set a hearing for later this month. The executive order states, at the very least, Americans have the right to expect that if their tax dollars fund public broadcasting at all, they fund only fair, accurate, unbiased, and nonpartisan news coverage. No media outlet has a constitutional right to pay taxpayer subsidies, and the government is entitled to determine which categories of activities to subsidize. So, I mean, he doesn't like NPR. I listen to NPR News. I like NPR News.
NPR has a lot of Republicans on there too, don't they?
Yeah, no, they have. It's balanced, and what they do, they're not like mainstream media where they'd be like, oh, cats are pooping in toilets. Let's talk about it for 3 hours. The NPR gives you the news, maybe has a witness, moves to the next subject. Gives you the news, moves to the next subject, and then they interview people. The thing is, they just tell the truth. He don't like it. You know what I'm saying? He just don't like it.
He definitely don't want nobody telling the truth at all. He don't want nobody
telling the truth, bro. And especially like for them, it's like they'll have. I mean, like Democrats, when the Democrats do something bad, they'll call them out on it, but the Democrats kind of just do things by the book because they don't want the scandal. You know what I'm saying? He ain't worried about the scandal, bro. He's a reality TV star.
Everything he does is not by the book. Everything he does is illegal. He don't care. He's figured out that, you know what, man? Let's just see what they do about it, pretty much, man. It sucks because this is not just NPR. It's also PBS.
Yeah, you get rid of Sesame Street.
But PBS, they do have, like, I think they have, like, Jonathan Capehart and some other, I forget the other guy's name. But those two are very much liberals. PBS is kind of a liberal station. From the perspective that I see, they're kind of liberal. I'm not mad about it because I feel like if you think about it, man, PBS, public broadcasting, anything to do with free is going to be more of a liberal thing anyways. It's going to be more of a person who has sympathy and care about what's happening in the world. It's not going to be what's his name? Sean Hannity type people. They're not going to be them. Those are like the worst type. They just will say anything for the expediency of, this is what's right today. Let me just say this. Even as it was
Dan Rather about Tucker Carlson too. They're like, bro, you just spew lies and nonsense
all day long. All day long.
Like, like that's your platform and that's what you get money off.
You hear Tucker Carlson call out, Tucker Carlson actually called out Senate Republicans. He's like, do you notice that most of the, war crazed Republican U.S. senators are also secret closeted gay people? He said that on his show like yesterday or something like that, or the day before. He said it to this guy. The guy was like, who are you talking about? He was like, I don't know. I'm just saying. It's almost like he's sending a shot across the bow, letting them know. Shot at. I mean, but he said most of the Senate Republicans. He's saying there's more than one. He's saying that there's multiple of these people. It's not like he's talking about just one person. He's like, he said it as like plural, like multiple people, like a punch. And like, this crazy to me that he said that because you're almost like trying to push them back down in their hole. You know what I mean? Hey, if you want to poke your head out here and have a problem with something, here, I'm going to shoot a shot across the bow, let you know, and we'll put it out there. You
look at supposedly look at Lindsey Graham, bro. He was like a person of integrity, but then they learned his secret. And now he's bending over backwards because if they learn, he's bending over backwards. Jeez, pause. I mean,
I'm just playing with you.
I'm just saying because if he comes out and he's like, "Hey, I'm this and that," he's
done.
He'll be cooked.
He's done. Yeah, I mean, and at the same time, you look at it from perspective. Any of them who come out who are Republicans, it's not a Republican thing, even though it is very, 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 very much a Republican thing. You guys, the veneer that you all put on a lot of times and the hatred you like to pretend towards other people, but the way that you guys praise Donald Trump, wearing his hat, his shirt, you wear everywhere on your body. You got this, tattoo his name on you. You know what I mean? Let them know it's real. Let them know it's real. You feel what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. But yeah, it was pretty extraordinary that he said that. But it's a horrible thing that we may lose PBS, that we may lose NPR. I mean, these are things that we also have.
NPR is supposed to be it's public broadcasting.
But it's for a reason that we have these, though.
Yeah, but usually they get, like, when I listen to NPR, they're always asking for donations anyways, because it's publicly funded.
But there's a reason that these places are around, like, even with, like, local cable stations, they're around because if anything were to happen, like a mass, like if we were to be attacked, those would be the places where you could go to for information and news. That's why they pay these people to keep them around for. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just so that we have
because it's free channels. Like you can used to be since they changed it from analog to digital, but you used to be able just to plug your TV into the wall, and if you had an antenna, you could watch that Christian channel, PBS, and you would get news.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday I had my TV on. It was like to catch people smuggling drugs into the States.
So they caught the people smuggling drugs into the States?
Yeah, it's like a show about it.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, Border Patrol and stuff.
Oh, it was on PBS?
No, it was on some free channels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, digital ones.
Last one of the day.
Hold on. Say Big Bird. Okay, go ahead.
Father charged with killing deputy a day after police killed son. Police allege that a father hit and killed sheriff's deputy with a car a day after his 18-year-old son was gunned down by officers. Rodney Hinton Jr., 38, from Ohio, is charged with aggravated murder and is being held without bond. The alleged attack came hours after he watched police footage of a fatal encounter with his son. Lawyers for Hinton family say. Cincinnati police chief said there is a connection between the two cases, although has been no suggestion that the father knew the deputy who died. Ryan Hinton was killed after brandishing a gun at police during a stolen vehicle investigation, police say. A gun was found at the scene. There is no indication he fired it. The deputy, who has not been named, was directing traffic outside of the University of Cincinnati graduation when he was fatally struck about 1 o'clock local time on Friday. In a court hearing on Saturday, prosecutors alleged that Mr. Hinton, in a way that was calculated and premeditated, lined up his car, deliberately accelerated his car, and purposely caused the death of an on-duty deputy sheriff. Dozens of officers reportedly packed the courtroom during the hearing. At 10 on Friday, Mr. Hinton and his family members had gathered at their lawyer's office to watch police footage of his son being shot to death by police. Lawyer Michael Wright said in a statement that Mr. Hinton became understandably distraught watching the police body cam footage and was unable to finish watching the video. The meeting included members of the Cincinnati Police Department. After the meeting with the police department, Ryan Hinton's father left in his own vehicle, and that was the last we heard from him until learning about the tragic incident involving a law enforcement officer who was working a traffic detail near the University of Cincinnati. The lawyer's statement continued. This is unimaginable tragedy for this community, it added. Ryan Hinton's family is heartbroken by the tragic turn of events, and we are all devastated for the family of the officer who was killed.
Yeah, man. So check it out like this. I tell him too. So the kid was running. Back was turned to a police officer. He had the gun. It was already on the ground. He threw it on the ground. Cop shot him anyways.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So the dad was like, well, if my son can get it, anybody can get it. So he did. He did what he wanted to do. You know, I'd rather, you know, it's a tragedy. The 18-year-old was shot. You know what I'm saying? And the father couldn't get to get back on the cop that did it, but he saw the first cop he saw and he did what he wanted to do.
Yep.
Just like that cop saw the first black teenager he saw running away with his back turned to him and shot him and did what he wanted to do. You know, at the end of the day, you have to fight back and you have to resist against people that do things like this to you. I'd rather see some situation like this than to see it. I saw 2 videos of black people holding the phone. Say it again. Call me the N-word again. And they're sitting there screaming. You see the story about the 5-year-old little boy?
Yep, and the lady who just raised like almost $600,000.
$600,000 trying to protect her family because she called a 5-year-old boy a nigger multiple times. I'm tired of seeing them little videos. Stop being little bitches and do something. And his dad did something. You know what I'm saying? I always tell people like that too. I'm like, I hope the police don't fuck with my kids, bro, because you'll see the depths I'll go for my seeds. And my kids, you know, we have law enforcement in our family. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's a tragedy and sad, but it's a long time coming.
It was a tough scene to watch him in the courtroom. You know, as he's being arraigned for the charge. They said Saturday. It's crazy. I'd never even heard of a Saturday court before in my life. So obviously this was that serious where they wanted to get him in there immediately to arraign him. But the courtroom was packed with officers. I mean, they were standing all up behind him. It was like an intimidation type of thing, not only with him, but with the judge as well. It wasn't even like a regular courtroom, really. It was like there was no sitting room in here. It was like they were just basically piled in behind this guy, all standing at him with stone face, kind of looking at him like he's wrong. I'm not saying that he's not wrong because he killed someone who had nothing to do with it. But at the same time, you know what I mean? Your child gets killed. It's been a long time in our community. We've seen this story too many times play out too many times. And we know he's going to get away with it. I mean, they'll make up whatever story. The kid had a gun allegedly. They're saying he may have pointed it at the officer. I don't know. They're saying they don't know if he fired the gun or not. It's a lot that we don't know, but at the same time, it's 2 senseless lives. I put it on my page, and my cousin of mine came out and was like, "Hey, this is what happened." Kind of gave some background on it. Yeah. But then at the same time, he said this is just 2 senseless lives that have been lost for no reason. And
they're saying the officer that shot the kid, he was already retired. He wasn't even supposed to be out there. No way. You know what I'm saying? He was just coming in to do whatever. But still, you shoot an unarmed teen. The father had to watch the son.
Can't say he's unarmed because they said he had a gun.
Supposedly. I mean, you're going to say whatever. I mean, we'll show us the body cam.
I got you.
You know, they're always going to say that they could take one and they could have a gun on them and just throw it on the ground like they've done before. I was watching the video the other day where the guy was videotaping the cop, and the cop comes up, puts the gloves on, throws the drugs in the back seat.
I saw that too.
He's like, yo, I just watched you do that. I got you on film. He's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? And the cop got suspended for it. But, you know, when people are out to get you never know what someone else is going to do to you. And you never know what someone's reaction is, especially a man that loses his son, you know, after 18 years of raising him. He's senseless. You could have shot that kid in the leg.
Anywhere. I mean, I understand we weren't there.
I saw a cop take a guy out from 138 feet.
I understand we weren't there. So to say, like, you know, like if a person pulls a gun on you, you don't know. I mean, you know, you don't know which your life's like life or death flashing before your eyes as well, too. So we don't know. But at the same time, though, it's sad to see that this came to this. And this man, I mean, to me, this is a crime of passion. This is like a, you know, like it's an insanity plea, because when he walked out that courtroom, you saw the look on his face of like, and yeah, that's my son. That's my kid. Don't take my kid. Don't take my son, because you guys are probably just going to get put on paid administrative leave for a while. You know, what I mean? But he's going to be sitting in jail. He's not getting a bond more than likely. This is what they're going to keep him in jail and make him sit here because he's a menace to society in their eyes. But you know who's a menace to society in ours? A lot of times the police department is. And they have a prosecutor who's a black man, who's a prosecutor. That was a sad thing for me to look at too, but I understand. I'm happy to see that there are black prosecutors and stuff. You know, of course there are everywhere, but it's just sad to see that that's who they paired him with.
Well, you know, they have to make it so that it seems like it's not a race thing. But I mean, all the cops were in the courthouse. That means when he's going into jail, they're going to be harassing him, beating him, taking his pillow, taking his blanket,
putting
not
stuff
feeding
in his
him.
Food,
yep.
Spitting in his food. He's going to get the look on his face of just like, yeah, I did it. Man, he's going to have problems in there for quite some time. And then he's probably going to spend the rest of his life behind bars.
Well, let's see what the police do. They might get on the streets and try to be like, well, we got to overassert ourselves, but you just did that. You just might cause more harm to yourself. I mean, like I was thinking about that the other day. Like, you know, when the police do stuff to black people up here where we're at in Washington, bro, we don't take it. You can check our record. We bout that action. It's just there's a video right here. Just a sad altercation, sad situation. Yeah, they just cut it off. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to keep you up to date with everything that's going on here and everything that's going on in the world. It's Uncommon Courtesy. We'll see you next time.